Hello, welcome to Daily Bible Study. Today we're going to look at Ephesians 1:20, which we brought about in Christ, when he raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly places. Now, to understand this verse, we need to look at verse 19, the previous verse, because which he brought about. So we need to know what is coming before which. So let's look at verse 19 again. And what is the surpassing greatness of his power? So in this verse 19, we looked at three words for power. Power and strength and his might. So we see a lot of power. This is the power of God. The surpassing greatness of his power toward us who believe. We're going to come back to this one just in a second. These are in accordance, that these power for the saints are accordance with the working of the strength of his might, God's might, which he brought about in Christ when he raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly places. Wow, this is a significant description of what the power of God looks like. So the power of God raised Jesus from the dead and seated Jesus at his right hand. So that all happened in Christ Jesus. Now that's not the end. Now this same power is the surpassing greatness of his power toward who? Toward us who believe. So this power, again, the first, it is for Christ. The power raised Christ from the dead and seated him at the right place, but also at the same time, this power is toward us who believe. So the main idea is the power of God raised Jesus and seated him at his right hand. Jesus rose from the dead, and he is all powerful because Jesus is God. Worldly power is under God's power, but God's power who raised Jesus is to the church as well. So there is a close relationship of God's power for his church. Application is, we need to trust the power of God who raised Jesus from the dead. And we need to live by God's power, not by our own. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.